So now we're nearly at the end. We have the last two, which actually are our wines. So we have the first one, we brought two wines, a Rosso di Montalcino and a Brunello. You're opening a Brunello 2012 after, right? Yeah. Okay. So the first one is the Rosso 2014, it's called, starting from the name, it's something quite beautiful. It's called Amore, Magia, which means love and magic. And
what's the quote above there? The English quote?
Of course, yes. I was going
what's
to
that
read
there
the
above, on the front?
Yeah. The quote, we had the same quote on the back. It's easier for me to read from the back. Yes. We have, yes, nature is magic. Mankind can make the magic only by investing in love and its action. And this is the base, actually, of our philosophy. So we are a biodynamic one, as we were saying before.
Who said those words? Is that a famous quote? Or
No, it's from the owner. Ah. This winery is owned by Illy. Everybody knows the coffee brand.
Is the owner.
We have a very artistic owner. Is the eldest from the Illy family, actually. Okay. Our winery is not part of the coffee companies. It's just actually his personal project. He invests a lot of love, care, and passion in this. It's money, of course. Last but not least, money as well. And yes, this is our Rosso. The winery is a small boutique winery, only 13 hectares, planted with the vines, at 30 acres with the conversion. Mainly Sangiovese, of course. Then we also grow a little bit of Syrah, Merlot, but just small production. And we are actually in Castelnuovo dell'Abate, which is considered the very heart of the Brunello, southeast side of Montalcino, where most of the very important Brunello producer vineyards or Cu or Riserva vineyards. And we are biodynamic wine, as we were saying before. And this is our best-seller product, actually, at the end, we can say. Is Rosso di Montalcino. They tend to be more similar to a Brunello than a Rosso itself. We were trying since the beginning to create a product which is more complex structured and richer, because we were looking for an higher positioning in the market. And to release already 2014 vintage for us is actually an exception, because we usually age our Rosso 5 years. Same way of a Brunello, for that reason. So if I put in a blind tasting, nobody will tell me that it's a Rosso di Montalcino, actually. But then, as we were saying before, and since until 2012, we did a Rosso age 5 years, actually. But then, as we were saying before, matching agriculture with business is not always the easiest to do. And we had a lack of bottle, actually, in 2012-13, and then it's our best seller, so we ran out everything.
It's because how long you aged Brunello for?
5 years, same way. But actually, the thing is we do is normally having a Rosso di Montalcino age 5 years and a Brunello Riserva age 6 years. That's usually our range of products. And this is because as Sebastian was saying before, in Montalcino, like in Chianti and in Montepulciano, we are regulated, first of all, in the quantity that we can produce. We are, we have quotes, we have licenses, and so when Francesco came in, Montalcino only got 1 hectare license to produce Brunello, and so we decided to do the top level wine, so only producing Riserva. So you got 1 hectare license to produce Brunello and 4 hectare license to produce Rosso. Imagine 5 upon 9 hectares total. So for the Rosso, the rules, they only require a minimum aging process. Nobody tells you that you can age your Rosso for longer in the cellar. And as we were actually not needing an easy daily wine, but we were looking for something more complex and structured. But then, on the other hand, what we can say is that 2014 has been a tough vintage for us. So it's not the vintage that will be the worth, actually, to be aged in the cellar forever. But on the other hand, has a positive aspect, which is the drinkability. So it was a rainy season, it's true, but the rainy gave a lot of freshness to the wine. So the wine is quite easy and enjoyable now. So
it was a wet year.
Yeah, it was a wet year. Yes.
It was very wet.
But yeah. We can say in Montalcino we are quite lucky at the end. We can say that there's not terrible vintage. What we have is very good vintage and very tough vintage. Because what happens when you have a hard and tough here is that you have to sacrifice more than usual to maintain the same standard quality. So you struggle more.
So this year particularly is tough so far, right?
It's tough so far because no rain since what, 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now start to be.
What happens if, well, okay, it's too early to say, isn't it?
It's too early. For now we are what, a week in advance? 2 weeks in advance, and the rising of the And this
for me, this is a bottle that shows really well the quality of a place, because in a bad vintage with grape that is not ripening all over in Montalcino, we have a wine that after 3 years has a future, because as a vine his identity and his personality. It's a personality based in the saltiness, in the acidity, in the freshness of the wine, not in the structure, in the powerful. But that's our point, because if you are in a small winery where the farming is by hand and organic, and every year has a different identity. And of course, if you drink a Rosso 14, you look for the structure of 2010, that's not the wine.
It's not the wine.
But this is a wine that is comparable with many Brunello in 14, would be for me.
How much Brunello did you make in 14?
6,000 bottles like every year.
And normally in a good year you would make double? Or?
No. But yeah, in my opinion, this is when you have a great vineyard and you accept that the identity of every vintage is different, and you work hard in a vineyard by hand, it's difficult that you don't have quality. Quality means different expression. If you look for charming wine, fruity, you have to drink 12 or 10 or 11. If you like to drink slim wine, very delicate, and for me a little bit more sexy, 14 is the vintage. Yeah.
But that's the challenge. Every year you have a different wine. When when you go tasting wine and every year tastes the same, it means that something is fake, because it's not possible. If you follow the trend of the climate and the weather that we have through the year, it's really not possible to have wine tasting the same.
This kind of harmony and taste, in my opinion, is not based. It's not something that you can have by a good winemaker. It's naturally a result of the place. Of course, we can destroy the quality if we are bad. We have to preserve it, and I'm a part of the movie. I'm not the main character. I need of a good team. I need of a, most important is good vineyard and a good property who invest in the quality of the program.
How important is the age of the actual
Aging.
The age of the plants?
It's
You
very
mentioned
important.
the one before, he produced 10, 12 years ago. That was when he first bottled. I mean, some of the vineyards have very old grapes.
Oldest is the vineyard, best is the wine, of course. We are a new producer. We started in 1999, and most part of our vineyard are not old. We are doing something to.
Is it important though in terms of the
It's
taste?
important.
I mean,
It's important.
if
By the year.
A vine plant is 80 years old. Is that producing much better?
What is the
wine?
difference between a vine 18 years old, 80 years old, or 15? Is in the roots, in the match with the place. Because an old vine is a strong connection with the place. Because it's there up to 80 years, and he has to live by the roots, because in 80 years he changed 2-3 generations, different way to do farming, and he lives because he's there and has a good roots, not because he's a good farmer for 80 years, because there are good and bad management. And to have deep roots, there are also different ways to get this result. One way is have a higher density. When you keep close the vine, you can hope to push down the roots in the soil. When you grow your vineyard without irrigation, without chemical fertilizer, the roots of the vine are deeper because they have to survive. If you continually feed your vine, you are calling the roots of the vine to you. And these vines are not matched with the place, but with your work, with your technology, with your agriculture. Because they live for your help. Without your help, they completely stop producing. Probably they're dead. Other way, if you have a vine that has to fight for the space because they are close, you never find water or mineral from the sky because there is nobody who feeds the vine. It has to go deep. It has to go deep work, hard work. Vines are technically lazy, and they climb over other plant. It's a wood plant. Originally, it was not really productive.
So the older vines have better mineral content.
Sorry?
The older vines have better access to minerals, basically.
Yeah, because when the roots are deeper, they cross different soil layers. Every layer has a different composition, and you can hope to have more complexity in your wine of saltiness. But I feel the signature of our wine is the saltiness. In Castelnuovo dell'Abate, there are Brunello that are charming, they are full body, structured with a long life, but are pretty salt. And I feel all of our wine more salty in accord to the deepness of the roots. When you have deeper roots, you have more connection with the place, and you can get more saltiness from our clay soil that is pretty salty. And this is what happened between Brunello and the Rosso di Montalcino. Our Brunello is from a vineyard with 10,000 vine per hectare, close, it's 6,000 vine. And it's a vineyard more based in the roots than in the leaf. And it's a real, for me, it's showing the taste of the ground, this wine. Because it's related with the place, there's a strong connection. When we look at the vine, we are looking not at the brain is underground.
Was Podere Le Ripi a vineyard before it was bought by Italy? Or was it something you just bought, you had a permission, you planted new
Everything
vines?
was planted between 1998 and 2004.
Okay.
Okay.
So
It's
it's
the reason
all
why
your-
being end of the 90s only got